Hey everyone, and welcome back to another coffee time with crypto. So what a week, hey?
Definitely depressing.
I'm like watching the news every day, and just my heart goes out to all those in Ukraine. It's like it makes you be so grateful that we're in a part of the world where it's not like directly affecting us, but hopefully they'll resolve everything that's
Mhm.
going on over there.
Yeah.
Um, so today I think we're gonna have this kind of like role reversal. I'm gonna We're gonna take a look at one of the DeFi projects that DGen Ben has been looking at for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
Um, so what's this project called?
This project is called StrongBlock Nodes.
Okay, so
It came.
for these like Friday coffee times, our main focus is on kind of DeFi projects, but I think this project is not strictly speaking like a DeFi project, but it's kind of like a blockchain related project, right?
It's becoming a. It's sort of. It's changing. I think it. Honestly, right now, some people would somehow say that it's not even considered like degen,
It's
only
like
because
past that, so
it's
it's
the first one.
legitimized.
So, but I think it is.
So the reason why I say role reversal is I haven't really spent much time looking at this project, so I'm gonna have a bunch
Oh,
of
okay.
questions, and hopefully Ben
Oh,
can take us through.
hopefully, I
Um,
can answer them. Let's
yeah, so let
see.
me just switch over to the browser. Okay, hope everyone can see this. Go back to their homepage. So if you go and look at the homepage, I'll try to follow you along, and then you can kind of like run us through.
Oh, okay. So I've been looking at this because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been like people that are like more into DeFi would be looking into like YouTube influencers and everything, and somehow they all, well, according to them, all participated in this node project called StrongBlock. So I always was just looking at it just to see what on earth it is about, right? And I can't say I know like 100% of what it's all about, but from what I know, it's like somehow everybody that were part of DAOs, like Wonderland, all of those, started all migrating into node projects. So that was a trend I was seeing. It's like, oh, everybody's trying to do node projects, and there's so many of these nodes projects coming out, and some of them aren't even nodes. They just want to say they're nodes because they don't know how to explain it. And I think those are more probably even more dangerous because you're basically because all of these projects, it's all Ponzi-nomic schemes, right? At least a bit of it.
So before
And
we start going too far in, do you have any disclosures that you need
oh,
to
I
make?
definitely am not giving financial advice. Do not take financial advice on when someone's called Degen Ben. Please
And
don't.
and are you
Um,
invested in this project?
Honestly, I just became one. I just became because the price is pretty low right now. So I was like, okay, you know what? I
Right.
told myself, whatever I put into this, I'm ready to lose all of it, right? So I was like, okay, fine. It went from what, like like the token itself, strong, went from like an all-time high of like 1,000, like 300, $1,200 to currently now, I think it's sitting at $165. Yeah,
Yeah.
163, $163. So you know what? I told myself, hey, you have to buy 10 of these tokens to make a node. So I was like, sure. Today, not today, actually, yeah, today. Today, while it was under 200, around $190, I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let me join this so that I have a bit of skin in the game.
And you're willing to
Very
lose it
well.
all.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Well, the thing is, you're not really staking the token. You've already lost it all because you've already
Yeah.
purchased into it.
I was gonna say, spoken like a true degen.
Oh, definitely. I'm not called DJ for nothing.
So does this project have a token? They have a token, right? You
They have a
that's
token. They have a
so
token. It's called Strong.
what's their token is strong. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
it's
on
strong. Like
CoinGecko. Just is
yeah,
it this one here?
yeah. The
Strong.
first one. The first one.
All right. Okay.
Ooh, 161 even.
So
Okay.
their market cap, 45 mil. It's not, it's not a big project.
Yeah, relatively small. Relatively small. Uh, and what they're promising is so once you purchase into one of these nodes, I forgot the breakdown. Let me see what the breakdown is. Give me a moment. Let me go and take a look. Create a node. Okay, so for example, you put, for example, right now, $1,600, let's call it $1,600. You bought 10 of these tokens, you purchase your node. So if you go into can you click on app? I'm
So hang
wondering if
on,
you're able,
before you do, can
yeah.
you just explain a little bit about
Oh,
what a node is?
so I hope I don't kill this. I myself am not as educated as to what the nodes are, but apparently it helps facilitate the basically transactions and everything in the blockchain. So right now you'll see that their first type was the were Eth nodes. So they started off their first project was Ethereum nodes. So anybody that bought into it will have a node. But this is not like the nodes that you buy where you have like you're running like your own physical node. It's not like you went to buy a Raspberry Pi and you made a node. It's
Yeah.
not one of those. It's basically node as a service. So once you buy into it, you can actually use it. You can actually use your nodes. You can go to your MetaMask and set it to use that exact node that you're using. So there's an address there. You can put it into MetaMask, and while you're doing transactions on the Ethereum network, you can actually use your own node, which was sort of neat. Um, Not every single one of these node projects out there actually allow you to do that because some of them just aren't nodes at all.
Like if you just go on their website, it does
Mm-hmm.
kind of kind of down here. It says, make a node, make a difference. Um, the reason is because if you a blockchain only requires, I guess, one node in order to keep itself alive, right?
Yeah,
If all copies of it disappears, then you lose everything. But because it's the decentralized nature of blockchain is that there are like lots and lots of nodes, and you'll always, as long as one of them survives, you'll have a copy of that blockchain. So I guess that's why
ooh.
if you want
So
to,
actually, I
yeah.
have a question then. So I might be wrong, but what I've been reading people say is they actually help speed up the transactions too.
I think it could be something to do with just having a change in the blockchain like propagate throughout the network. So you
Mm-hmm.
can think of the nodes as the network itself, right? So uh, when every node receives a change in the blockchain, so like the next block, that information has to propagate to all of the nodes.
So yeah, basically you're just without buying your own hardware or anything like that, you're purchasing their node, they set it up, and thing is, apparently each node earns a little bit of the fee when a transaction is like verified or passed through it, and that provides a bit of rewards. So let's go down a bit. So they're partnering with different blockchains, and of course, people are like, "Oh, okay, then it's probably a more legit project." People would think, right? The next thing, I guess, the pro about it is if you look at the people, the leadership, they're fully doxed, so you know exactly who they are.
How does the project make money? I guess, or how does what's the
Oh,
selling point for their token?
if you purchase into an Ethereum node, it returns you an average of 0.092 strong a day.
Okay.
So it takes 10 strong to buy into the project, to buy a node, and every day it will give you 0.092.
So have you
only if
worked that out, like in terms of
so
annual, like an
it depends on how
APY?
many blocks that day in Ethereum was
Hmm.
created or whatever or went through. So they're taking an average of 7,200, although lately it's around 6,400 I saw.
Yeah.
So you're just getting a little bit under 0.092.
So where did you find this information?
I
Like, is
found
it
it on
easy to
Discord.
find? Yeah.
I found it on Discord.
So
You
like
might have to, let's see if I can find it
I'm
here.
looking at their website and it's like there's not much information here.
Because I found most of my information about it just like a normal DGen
Yeah.
through YouTube. And there's a few people that I was looking at. There was the and honestly, a lot of the information was also in their Discord group. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Blocks, mining rewards. What are we? How do I get down? What are we? So okay, so if you go into the FAQs, do you have the FAQs there? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go to rewards and click on what are rewards and how do I get them. So I think this was written back in the day when there were like 7,000 blocks on the Ethereum mainnet daily. So you'll see that you get around 0.1 strong. Um, they rounded it up, so you need 7,000 blocks in order to get 7,000 to get 0.092. They rounded
So
up to 0.1.
so at their current price of $161,
So it's like a,
that would be, that's a decent, that's like
it's not bad.
$16 a day.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Is that a day? Oh, wait, hang on. This isn't, yeah,
Per day, per full
for
24-hour
24
period.
hour period. Okay. And
Oh, yeah.
you said that for an investment of 10 strong,
Yeah.
right? So that's $1,600, and you're getting essentially 1% a day.
Pretty much.
That
Pretty much.
that is I can see why this is a degen project. So let's take a look at let's take a look at how this point one strong is generated. Like, is there a section where they have their tokenomics? Because we kind of want to check out like whether there's like inflation, what the supply is for
Ooh,
the strong
the
token.
supply right. So right now, if anybody kind of is part of the Discord group, you'll know that the supply of this reward token is super low. And I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, they because they don't have a white paper, they have something called a light paper.
Yeah, we can check that out. Like, is this max supply accurate? Have you checked?
Yeah. Pretty much like that. That's pretty much what it is. So a bit of a backstory. They started off with 10 million of these tokens.
Okay. So
but over the time they started burning a lot of them.
Is there a place
Apparently
on their
it was
website
for
that
sustainability or whatever.
is there a place on the site that talks about the burning aspect? Because I really like projects that actually burn their tokens. Anything that has a cap supply and then has token burning is like a really strong tokenomics
Bear with me.
For driving up the price.
Okay, so there's a flash paper here, but I don't know if it talks about it. So let's see.
Let's go back to the FAQ.
Tokenomics. Mining demand for high quality public blockchain performance with powerful DeFi tokenomics. Okay, so what I have is tokenomics version 2. So here is this is I think the tokenomics that you can read up on back in November 10th, 2020. Yeah, there you go. So that's the first paragraph already said. This new approach includes burning 94% of its original 10 million minted strong by December 2020, leaving a maximum supply of 535,000 strong, which was exactly what you saw.
Right. So this has already happened.
Yeah, this has already happened.
Okay.
Um,
So they say no inflation is possible.
yeah, that's what they say.
Okay.
However, 2 days ago, because they found that this limited amount of supply of the reward token was actually in the way of their growth. So what this project is doing now is they're setting up their own blockchain called the Strong Chain. And there they're moving away from the Strong token to a token called Stronger.
Okay. So right now they're on Ethereum.
Yeah. And they're soon setting up their own chain. Say by the end of this year is when they'll
What do you
migrate.
know? Do you know what the purpose of the strong token is? Like, does it have utility?
Uh, like very limited amount of utility. So on the StrongBlock website, there you can actually stake them.
Okay.
But besides that, it's just a reward token. So what you do is you purchase into it, your money's long gone,
So is it
but now
rebasing?
you own a node. So you get
Like,
0.1 strong. So
how do you get the 0.1 strong? Like, if you don't
it shows
stake
up,
it?
it doesn't stake. It basically it shows up as a reward. You can claim it and
Oh,
then
you can
stake it,
claim it.
or you
Okay.
can claim it and then sell it if you want.
Right.
Or you can
Okay.
claim it. If there's 10, you can claim it and buy another node, or what they call compounding.
Do you know what
And
this strong block NFT is? Is that
okay,
related
so
to?
the funny thing is, if you buy one of their NFTs, but they're long sold out, you can't anymore. So if you buy them, depending on how expensive it is, there's like a
Mm,
bronze, silver, or whatever.
yeah.
You can sort of attach it to your node to
Okay.
boost the
So you
rewards,
get, yeah. Okay.
right? I think this is like a common theme.
Yeah, it is. It's
They're
just like
just somehow trying to make
early
NFT used
investors.
for NFTs.
Yeah, for early investors was some sort of a incentive mechanism.
If you go back to the actual website,
I don't
because
know
I
if
think then
I don't know if I've seen something like this before. Okay, so you buy 10 strong and then you deposit your 10 strong with them.
you don't deposit though. You're actually purchasing the node by giving it to them. It's an exchange. You don't get your 10 strong back.
You don't get anything back at all except for they're running a node on your behalf. But
Yeah.
you tell them, okay, so because you use your address to send them 10
Mhm.
strong, now they
Yeah.
have a record of your address.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not even transferable.
Right.
So
Right.
if you lose access to your wallet, it's gone.
Right. Okay. So that's interesting. So
Um, let's see here. So if you go to the site and let's see if I can even.
so the 10 strong that you've deposited with them, is that what gets burned?
No. So that doesn't get burned. So the burning only happened, I think, on that instance when this paper came up.
Okay. So here's my question. You're getting zero point 0.1 strong a day. Where is that strong
Mhm.
coming from?
Aha. So here comes the Ponzonomics part of the token. So if you go onto the site, go back to the site, and can you click on create your node now? No, you don't want. Yeah, okay. So click on create your own node now. See if what shows up, because that's exactly where you see some of the information on what happens. Ugh. Okay, so that doesn't happen. Okay, let me do something else.
Do I have to
Let me do
connect the
something.
wallet? Is that
No, I don't. Well, you could if you would like. So you don't have to buy anything. You just have to click on create a node so that it gives you all this disclaimer and everything on where the 10 strong you're giving them is going to. Oh, you have to be on the Ethereum network.
so it won't automatically switch networks for me, which I don't
It
like.
doesn't. Not like the dexes out there.
Yeah. All right. So
Okay, so when you click on create node, okay, so in the middle there, do you see after node description? So
yeah.
once it says, once you contribute your 10 strong, this is what happens to the 10 strong you give them. 10% future use, 10% to the strong ETH and link strong pools for rewards, 20% to the strong pool, and 60%, so 6 strong tokens of what you give them goes back to the rewards pool to be distributed to other current strongholders.
Mm.
So that's where the Ponzonomics part is. So 60% of it goes back.
Right.
So almost everybody knows that if it keeps this structure, it's pretty much not sustainable. So what they're making a case for is so how are they going to make this project survive in the long run? So they said their solution is basically to have their own chain, to run on their own chain. The full details of it has not been disclosed, so it's still
Yeah.
very iffy right now.
So let me just run you through what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So every new investor gives them 10 strong,
Yeah.
and 6 strong go into
Yeah.
this rewards pool, out of
Yeah.
which, I guess, do you know how many strong is being distributed? Like, do they tell you
So
how
there's
many
there's
nodes?
currently 300 and
300.
something thousand, 366,000 nodes.
Yeah, okay. So basically 32,000 strong, roughly, right?
Yeah.
Um, have to be distributed every
Yeah.
single day,
Day.
right? So in
Yeah.
order to do that, let me bring up a calculator. Yeah, 32,000 strong
Yeah.
per day, and 6 strong per new investor goes into this pool. So they basically need every single day over 5,000 people creating new nodes in order for this mechanism to sustain itself.
Yeah. So the funny thing about this is you'll be like, oh, so why has it still survived till now? Why did it reach all-time high? So I think what is happening is they a lot of them, at least the early investors, they were so-called compounding. So once they received 10 tokens that they were claimable, they claimed it and they went to purchase another node.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore there's another 6 going back in the report. So it's
Yeah.
not totally reliant on absolute new people signing on, just the current people compounding and making more nodes for them. But of course, this slowly becomes a bigger problem, right?
Well, I mean, I don't see that as a problem in itself because you're accumulating that 10 strong over 100 days, right?
Yeah.
So there are going to be far fewer people who are compounding than they need new people, actual new people bringing in their
Mm-hmm.
money. So and this number is going to grow more too because the more, let's say
The more nodes you have.
you add 5,000 new investors every day, each one of them is getting paid another 0.1 strong. So you're adding, you need, 500, you need to pay 500 strong to more strong, and that is another, let's go
So it kind
500.
of snowballs.
Yeah,
Uh,
it kind of
because
can
if
get
you
out of
purchase a
control
new
pretty
node,
quickly.
that means now you're receiving 0.2 strong a day. And sooner
Yeah.
or later, I think around 15 nodes or whatever, you're getting 10 strong every like 6 days or 7 days.
Yeah, okay. So do they have a treasury that you can see?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's see. Treasury rewards, mining, gas fees, fees, claiming. I don't think so. It was not like Wonderland where you saw
So it's
the
not that
treasury.
transparent, right? Like when it comes to that, have you looked to see if they've disclosed their project addresses? So one thing that's useful to do is to check for that. Like if they have an address that holds the treasury funds or the team tokens, then it's something to, you know,
Let me look into that right
not
now.
that even if you can see these things that there's much you can do about it, you're not going to
Yeah.
monitor it all the time. But the fact that they disclose it so that people can go and check it out is a positive sign. And if they don't have those things, it's more of a red flag.
Hmm. Let's see. I might have to look for it. EMA recaps.
It's okay.
Chat.
Like we'll we'll put down like a list of follow up things that we can
Yeah.
look into, and we can
Okay.
report back.
Yeah. Once, so this is basically the first of its kind. Um, a hell lot of people I think are in it. Although the
So
price is dropping like tomorrow.
yeah, so for
Uh,
me, like this sounds like something that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole because it's just not clear enough how it can be sustainable. I know you mentioned that it's actually the opposite. It's actually clearly unsustainable the way that it is now.
yeah.
Um, and like I personally would put my money into like things that are um, things that are more certain in terms of what the project is
Hmm.
doing. You know, like if they're promising you something in the future, and especially if they're not super clear about what that is and how it can solve uh, these kind of problem issues,
Yeah.
that's a huge red flag to me.
Right. But of course, if I were like that, then I wouldn't be DJing then. But anyways, what else would you be looking for? Like if you were in this site for the
So,
first time?
so for a project like this, it's really important to see what phase they are in their cycle because there are a lot of these like I wouldn't call it like without knowing more about it, I wouldn't call it a Ponzi or anything like that. Um, but it's quite typical to even for those kind of projects that are to have it like if you're early enough, you can make money in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you definitely want to see either you. It's kind of hard to tell whether you're early enough too, but you know if it's definitely like rolled over, you want to stay away unless it's kind of like rolled over, form the really, uh, um, you know, form the really low base, and then organically it starts to kind of go up again, and it's not due to some crazy new hype. Uh, so let's just take a look at the market cap chart.
Yeah.
So wow, this project's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, if you did get in early enough,
Oh, you would have been.
you'd be killing it.
And I think that's
So this
why
is
there's
this
so
is
much
what
selling pressure.
this is what I was basically explaining too. Like to me, it looks like
It's rolling over.
it's it's been rolling over. Um, and even something like this, like if it drops a lot, obviously it depends on the broader market as well. But when it like
Hmm.
shoots up and it's very quick again, that to me is still it doesn't seem very organic to me.
Hmm.
So that I would be very cautious about too. And again, like it looks like it's rolled over again. And right now, like it's kind of like a falling knife.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah, so I'm surprised you actually made pulled the trigger on something like this.
Ooh, I'm basically telling myself I'm YOLOing this money into whatever strong chain will become the unknown.
So, do you know anything? Let's take a look at this strong chain. Do they have any information on their website, or is it just purely on Discord?
It's on the website. It's in the you have to go back and it's in the announcements.
Right. How do I get
So
back to the
just
homepage?
re-enter strongblock.com, I think.
Oh, I have to exit the app.
So more announcements and March 2nd.
Strong chain and stronger. You mentioned
Yeah,
stronger is
Strongchain
the
Light
name of the
paper has been
new
published
coin.
here. So the first link.
All right, let's take a look.
It's rather long though.
Okay, so light paper, not very light.
Yeah.
Do you know the
So
do you know the gist of it, or
I sort of know the gist of it. So if you look at I think the main part here is sustainability. So under the table of contents, if you can just look for the sustainability part, I think.
sustainability?
Yeah. Uh,
So it says the initial supply of 10 million strong, minted in August 2020, included no capabilities to burn or to further mint. This was the accepted standard in DeFi at the time. When the initial launch of the Bring Your Own Node version of rewarded nodes had a shaky start, the protocol voluntarily burned 94.7% of the supply, reducing its token footprint to sustain the project. Okay. So
okay.
it's confusing because it says it had no capabilities to burn, and then it voluntarily
It just
burned
burned it.
and just burned it. Um, so I don't know if I get that. With the subsequent explosive growth of the StrongBlock node as a service DApp, the inability to mint new strong in the original contract limits the growth of the node as a service DApp. Further, planned features that will dramatically lower community gas costs will in turn require a significantly larger supply of strong for sustainability than is currently possible. So it lots of red
They're
flags
trying to
here
they're trying
because
to go back.
yeah, so it seems like they bootstrap the project somehow by promising some tokenomics that now they're about to change, right?
Yeah.
So an investor who uh, like buys in the project thinking, oh, it's got a maximum supply,
Yeah.
and that it's deflationary.
Yeah.
Now they're realizing like at this point all that's going to go away. So I'm not surprised that they had this kind of explosive growth at the beginning,
Hmm.
and made a lot of people they got out like bandits if they did. Um,
Yeah. I think some
but they
people,
really are
definitely the early adopters, they're pulling out a lot of money.
they really are changing the entire tokenomics model here, and it sounds like without going into it deeply, it just sounds like in order to um, accommodate more people buying nodes, they have
Yeah.
to inflate the strong token. So the strong that's going to put downward price pressure on the strong token.
Hmm.
And yeah, so this is a project that I am likely going to stay far away from.
So down there, it talks about its sustainability experiments, which I'm guessing they didn't work out. That's why they're moving towards their own chain and everything. They tried to use another token as rewards and everything like that. Um, they tried to taper the reward nodes.
So
Uh,
there's something here that you must have read that kind of like said, "Hey, there's
oh, no,
something
no, no,
to
no, no,
this."
no, no. I didn't read too much on it. I relied mostly on reading, like listening to social media, right?
So
I'm
so
DJ Tenten, man.
all right, so like run me through this. Like they're saying they're gonna have this new blockchain, and that's it.
And it's gonna solve the gas fee problem of Ethereum because part of why I think, and it's the reason why this thing sustained, because previously the selling pressure wasn't that great, because every time you wanted to sell your strong,
Mhm.
because it's part of the Ethereum network, the gas fee was crazy high. I think back when it was the highest, that's what when they were talking about, not like today.
Right.
Um, and that's a lot. It kind of prevented people from selling it. Uh, let's see
So
here and whatever.
as a node investor, when would you ever need to incur Ethereum transaction fees, except for when you're just trying to buy and sell
Oh, when
the.
you're selling the rewards,
Okay.
we're basically just selling your rewards, or even when you're, I think even when you're making a node, like most of these people on Discord are making nodes around like current gas fee prices,
Yeah.
like 36 way, whatever,
So
not
when you
like
make it
100.
when you make it easier for people to buy and sell, you're just gonna put even further more inflationary pressure onto the token.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the whole change of the token, strong chain is, I think they're trying to sort of restart the project. So recreate the initial hype. Uh, now that they can claim that, hey, we've been around for a year already,
Mhm.
which apparently in crypto, in the crypto world, this is like 20, equivalent to like 20 years or whatever.
When I look at a project like StrongBlock, I see that they couldn't come up with the right tokenomics the first time around,
Yeah,
intentionally or not. Um, Now they're going to make it so that it's inflationary. The exact model is not clear, so for those reasons, those are the reasons why I personally wouldn't be an
yeah,
investor. Uh,
definitely.
all right,
Um,
so I think
yeah, all right.
I'm interested to see what you come up with next.
Oh, lots of degen plays,
Yeah,
my friend, I'm
well,
looking at.
all right.
All right.
We'll wrap up here. And
Okay, all right.
all right, take
Have a
care,
good day,
everyone.
guys.
Have a good weekend. Bye bye.
Have a great weekend.